In this episode, we look at artificial intelligence, AI, failure risks, meaning the problems that can happen even when there is no obvious hacker attacking the system. That distinction matters because security risk is not limited to someone breaking in, stealing a password, or planting malware. A system can still create harm when it exposes information, produces unfair results, gives an answer nobody can explain, invents details, or encourages a decision that creates legal or business trouble. AI can be useful, but it can also sound more confident than it deserves to sound. When you are new to security, that confidence can be misleading. You may feel like a polished answer must be a reliable answer. The safer habit is to treat AI output as something to evaluate, not something to obey automatically. Your goal is to understand where these failures come from and why blind trust can turn a useful tool into a serious risk. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is part of our companion study series. The first book is a detailed study guide that explains the exam and helps you prepare for it with confidence. The second is a Kindle-only ebook with 1,000 flashcards you can use on your mobile device or Kindle for quick review. You can find both at Cyber.Me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. Data loss is one of the most direct AI failure risks because AI systems often work by receiving, storing, processing, summarizing, or generating information. If sensitive data is entered into the wrong system, included in a prompt, saved in a chat history, exposed through logs, or reused in a way the user did not expect, the organization may lose control over that information. The data may include customer records, financial details, health information, legal documents, internal strategy, source code, credentials, or security findings. The risk does not always come from a malicious user. A well-meaning employee may paste sensitive content into an AI tool to summarize it quickly. A team may connect an assistant to a document store without limiting what it can retrieve. A logging feature may keep prompts longer than expected. Once sensitive data moves into the wrong place, it can become much harder to protect. Data loss can also happen through output. An AI system may reveal information that should have stayed hidden because it was included in context, training material, retrieved documents, or previous interactions. The user may ask an innocent question and receive an answer that includes private details from a document they should not have seen. A support assistant may summarize a ticket and accidentally include another customer's information. An internal assistant may answer a broad question by pulling from files that should have been limited to a smaller group. These failures often come from weak access control, poor data classification, broad permissions, or unclear boundaries between users. Strong AI design should respect the same security rules that apply to other systems. If a person is not allowed to read a file directly, the AI should not become a shortcut that reveals the file indirectly through a friendly answer. Bias is another major risk, and it can appear even when nobody is trying to be unfair. AI systems learn from data, and data reflects the world that produced it. If the training data contains patterns of unfair treatment, missing groups, outdated assumptions, or one-sided examples, the system may repeat those patterns. Bias can affect hiring support, fraud review, identity checks, loan decisions, security prioritization, customer service, and many other areas. In security, bias can cause some users, regions, behaviors, or devices to be treated as more suspicious than they truly are, while other risks may be overlooked. The danger is not only that an answer is offensive or uncomfortable. The danger is that an automated or semi-automated process may influence real decisions in a way that is unfair, inaccurate, or legally risky. Bias becomes harder to notice when the output looks technical and neutral. Bias can also come from how a system is designed, tested, and used. A dataset may be accurate for one environment, but poor for another. A model trained on one type of organization may not understand the normal behavior of a different organization. A security tool may rank activity as risky because it has seen similar activity in past incidents, but the pattern may not mean the same thing in every setting. A language tool may produce more detailed answers for topics that were better represented in its training data and weaker answers for topics that were not. You should be careful with any AI output that affects people, access, money, discipline, employment, or legal obligations. Human review matters because people can ask whether the result makes sense in context. AI may find patterns, but a pattern is not always a fair or complete explanation. Explainability means being able to understand why a system reached a result. Some AI systems produce output without giving a clear path that a person can inspect. That can create a serious problem when the output affects security decisions, business decisions, or legal decisions. If a system says an account is risky, a transaction is fraudulent, a document is sensitive, or a user should be denied access, someone may need to understand the reason. Was it the location, the device, the time, the behavior, the content, or something else? Without explainability, people may accept a decision without knowing whether it was based on a reliable signal. They may also reject a correct decision because they cannot see enough evidence to trust it. A black box result can be useful as a signal, but it becomes dangerous when people treat it as a final answer without review. Lack of explainability creates accountability problems. If an organization cannot explain why a decision was made, it may struggle to defend that decision to a customer, regulator, auditor, employee, or court. Imagine an AI system flags a user as high risk, and that flag leads to account restrictions. If the organization cannot explain the factors behind the flag, the user may have no meaningful way to challenge it. In a security operations setting, an unexplained alert may waste time because analysts do not know what evidence supports it. In a compliance setting, unexplained classification may make it hard to prove that sensitive data was handled correctly. Explainability does not mean every person needs to understand every mathematical detail. It means the organization needs enough transparency to evaluate, challenge, document, and improve decisions that matter. Hallucination is the term often used when an AI system generates information that sounds plausible but is false, unsupported, or invented. This can be especially risky because the output may be written in a smooth, confident tone. The system may invent a policy requirement, misstate a technical fact, create a fake citation, describe a feature that does not exist, or summarize a document incorrectly. In a casual setting, that may be annoying. In a security setting, it can lead to bad decisions. A hallucinated recommendation might cause someone to ignore a real alert, misunderstand a vulnerability, misclassify data, or choose the wrong control. Hallucinations are not always obvious. They may be mixed with accurate information, which makes them harder to catch. You should be especially cautious when an AI answer gives precise claims without showing a trustworthy basis for those claims. Hallucinations can happen because AI systems are often designed to generate likely responses, not to guarantee truth. They may fill gaps when they do not have enough information. They may blend concepts that sound related. They may answer a question even when the correct response would be uncertainty. That creates a trust problem for anyone using AI in security work. A confident answer about a firewall setting, legal obligation, incident timeline, or control requirement should not be accepted just because it sounds polished. The safer approach is to verify important claims against trusted sources, internal policy, authoritative documentation, or human expertise. You do not have to reject every AI response. You do need to match the level of verification to the level of risk. The more serious the decision, the less acceptable it is to rely on an unchecked generated answer. Ethics is the broader category that asks whether AI is being used in a responsible, fair, and accountable way. A system can be technically impressive and still create ethical problems. It may monitor people too aggressively, make decisions they cannot challenge, expose private information, produce biased results, or encourage over-reliance on automation. Ethical risk is not separate from security risk. Privacy, consent, fairness, transparency, and accountability all affect whether a system can be trusted. If people do not know how their data is being used, they cannot make informed choices. If a system influences access, hiring, credit, benefits, or discipline without meaningful oversight, the harm can be personal and serious. In security, ethics also includes restraint. Just because a tool can collect, analyze, or predict something does not automatically mean it should be used that way. Blindly trusting AI output can create security risk because the output may guide real actions. A person may follow a generated incident response suggestion that skips containment. A manager may accept an inaccurate risk summary and underfund a needed control. An analyst may rely on an AI summary that missed a key log entry. A developer may use generated code that contains a vulnerability. A help desk worker may follow a generated identity verification script that leaves out a required step. None of these failures require a traditional attacker. The risk comes from overconfidence, weak review, and unclear responsibility. AI can help organize information, draft language, summarize patterns, and support decisions, but it should not quietly replace judgment in high-risk areas. A secure process makes clear what the AI can do, what a person must review, and who is accountable for the final action. Blind trust can also create legal and business risk. Data protection laws, contracts, industry rules, and internal policies may limit how information can be processed, shared, retained, or used for automated decisions. If sensitive data is placed into an unapproved AI system, the organization may violate privacy obligations or contractual promises. If biased output influences hiring, lending, insurance, discipline, or customer treatment, the organization may face complaints, investigations, or lawsuits. If hallucinated output appears in a report, customer communication, policy document, or security attestation, the organization may damage its credibility. Business risk also includes wasted time, wrong priorities, reputational harm, and loss of customer trust. AI can move quickly, and that speed can multiply mistakes. The faster an organization adopts AI, the more carefully it needs governance, review, and boundaries around sensitive use cases. Controls for AI failure risks often look familiar because they build on security principles you already know. Data classification helps decide what information can be entered into or connected to an AI system. Access control limits which users and tools can reach sensitive data. Least privilege reduces the chance that an assistant can retrieve more than it needs. Logging and monitoring help detect unusual use, data exposure, or repeated unsafe prompts. Human review provides a checkpoint for outputs that affect people, money, security, or legal obligations. Testing can look for bias, hallucinations, privacy leakage, and weak explanations before the system is used in production. Clear policies help users know what they may enter, what they must verify, and when they need approval. These controls do not make AI perfect, but they reduce the chance that a useful tool becomes an uncontrolled risk. Good AI governance also requires honest communication about limits. Users should know when they are interacting with AI, what the system is meant to do, what data it can access, and what kinds of decisions require human review. Teams should avoid presenting AI output as guaranteed truth. They should also avoid hiding uncertainty when a result is based on incomplete information. In many cases, the safest design is to use AI as a support layer rather than the final decision maker. It can summarize a long document, but a person should review the summary before relying on it. It can suggest a risk rating, but a person should understand the evidence. It can draft a response, but a person should check the facts and tone. Responsible use means matching the tool to the risk, not giving the tool more authority than it deserves. AI failure risks are serious because they can appear without a dramatic attack. Data loss can happen through careless input, broad access, weak logging, or unsafe output. Bias can shape decisions unfairly when data or design reflects incomplete or distorted patterns. Lack of explainability can make important decisions hard to trust, challenge, or defend. Hallucinations can turn invented information into confident guidance. Ethical problems can damage privacy, fairness, accountability, and trust. The common thread is over-reliance. AI can be valuable, but it should not be treated as automatically correct, neutral, private, or safe. When you see AI in a security environment, ask what data it uses, what it can access, how its output is checked, and who remains responsible. That mindset helps you gain the benefits of AI without ignoring the risks that come from trusting it too much.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.